What did actually happen to Malaysian Airlines flight MH370, which went off grid on Saturday? The search area for the missing jetliner has now been expanded, with the airline saying the western coast of Malaysia is now the focus of the hunt that has entered its fourth day. Now, various theories have begun to circulate of the disappearance of the plane. Nicola D'Souza joins us from Studio 2 with more of the details.
Almost 4 days since the mysterious disappearance of flight MH370, investigators are no nearer to figuring out what exactly happened to the plane. We are now joined by our bureau correspondent from Malaysia, Chalukya Weerakon, for the very latest.
Well, the latest we're hearing from the authorities here is that Malaysian military has supposedly tracked the missing flight on radar to the state of Malacca, Western Malaysia, far away from where it disappeared on the radar screens over the South China Sea. The police chief has said that the 4 areas of investigation are focused possibly of human agencies, these being hijacking, sabotage, psychological problems, or personal problems with passengers or crew. Here in Kuala Lumpur, the anguish continues for families and friends of missing passengers and crew, with many expressing their frustrations over the lack of comprehensible information. This is Chalukya Weerakon reporting for Newsfirst from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Meanwhile, the Malaysian police say that a man travelling on a stolen passport on the missing Malaysian Airlines flight is a young man from Iran and is not believed to have any links to terrorism. The Malaysian police say that the 19-year-old man, named Noor Muhammad Medrad, was probably migrating to Germany. Investigations are continuing into a second man using stolen documents. The search for flight MH370 has also widened. Experts say that the presence of 2 people with stolen passports on a plane was a breach of security, but is relatively common in a region regarded as a hub for illegal migration. Meanwhile, reports have emerged that the cell phones of some of the passengers on the missing plane are ringing, but no one picks up. According to a report from China, 19 families have signed a statement saying that dialing their loved ones' phones leads to a ring rather than going straight to voicemail, as one would expect of a phone in an airplane mode or otherwise unable to reach. Hopes are still high as families of Malaysian passengers on board missing flight MH370 waited for news on their loved ones. But as each day passes, the relatives are also preparing for the worst. The fate of the Malaysian airliner that vanished about an hour into a flight to Beijing remains a mystery, as a massive air and sea search, now in its 3rd day, failed to turn up any trace of the Boeing 777 plane. Neither Malaysia's special branch, the agency leading the investigation locally, nor spy agencies in the United States and Europe have ruled out the possibility that militants may have been involved in drowning MH370. The US sources said that Malaysian authorities have indicated that the evidence so far does not strongly back an attack as a cause for the aircraft's disappearance, and that mechanical or pilot problems could have led to the apparent crash. Meanwhile, dozens of ships and aircrafts from 10 countries were still scoring the seas around Malaysia and south of Vietnam, as questions mounted over possible security lapses that could have led to a drowning of the Boeing 777-200ER after it climbed to an altitude of 35,000 feet. About 2/3 of the 227 passengers and 12 crew members aboard the plane were Chinese. Aside from the Malaysians, other nationalities include 7 Indonesians, 6 Australians, 5 Indians, 4 French, and 3 Americans.